Can you see me up there?
We're here. Good morning.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jen from Two Rivers Books and Weird Sisters Yarn. I have Leonora Vargas from the St. John's branch of the Multnomah County Library, and Zipporah from Reading is Resistance.
Hello, buenos dias.
We're so happy to be here doing this again. What a great opportunity. We had a little technical glitch last time, which always happens. And now we're back together. Hooray.
Right. Yes, I'm so excited to, pass that too. And should I go now?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, so for people who maybe weren't here last week, I met Leonora because she's in my neighborhood library. And she's a bilingual specialist. And when my kiddos were very small with little puffy hair, they have puffy hair still, but it was bigger then. We would take the strollers to the library, and Leonora was there and got to know them and was always so welcoming to us. We were just talking about, I'm sure we will again, how the library is like a community. It's not just a place with books. So it's just such a pleasure to be here today with you. I wonder if you'll talk a little bit about what you do at the library so people can know about that.
Of course. Good morning, and thank you for inviting me. And I'm so happy to be here from the library and to promote and talk about our resources, not only in English, but this time for me in Spanish, which is my primary language, but also another language that the library has material and people to speak those languages to serve our community, or a special St. John's community where I like, and I live in a neighborhood. I'm in the hood. After the Caucasian, we have the Spanish, or the Spanish speaker from Guatemala. There's a big community from Guatemala. So the English language and then the Spanish language is big in this area. And that's where I'm here. We have 2 or 3 bilingual staff in this location because it's a need. Plus, we are so lucky to have Seaton and James Jones just across the street with immersion in Spanish. And I see now they're going to the 5th grade, and those kiddos are fluent in Spanish.
Awesome.
It's amazing how those kids can pick up the language. And not only the language, what I can see is that speaking or hearing another language open their eyes to another cultures, to acceptance, and to be a part of this social diversity world that we are, and be easygoing into that. And that's what I loved in this neighborhood, and the people around us, that they're, very open the way they're supposed to be, to take diversity and to learn about another countries, places, language, and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking before about especially Latinx authors. So sort of taking that, what we're talking about, the bilingual schools and how important that is, it's also important to read authors, right, from all different cultural and racial backgrounds. We were talking about how there's so few Latinx authors for children, and I'm sure it's the same for adults. I don't know, but I was looking at a statistic that said that only in the latest statistics from the School Library Journal said that only 5% of children's books published in the last year were from Latinx authors, which is too small of a percentage.
That's what I think. Yeah. Part of my job here at the library is to look for books that represent us, represent people, and offer to people who wants to learn to another language and really learn the culture or learn diversity. Because we have a lot of translations of the old books, the English books, the classic, where you want to call it, or popular, but it's still no much access to Latinx or to writers. And until we kind of need to demand more diversity, so the editoriales, the publishers take more, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot writers, but there's a lot of conditions to publish that book. And if we don't ask him for those books, that's not gonna come out. So yeah, it's very limited, but that's where we have, because the library, I spend times looking for all these publishers. There's some books who come from Europe but doesn't really reflect the majority of Latin American, the Latinx we are in this part of the Oregon of this country. So the language, the culture doesn't really reflect, and we're looking for books that reflect, windows that my kiddos can see. Hey, look at the teacher is the same to me, or the kids, they're kids, not only this certain kind of the kids. And I'm a mother of 3 kids now. They're adult and professional, but I struggled when they were little with the same thing. So I want to talk a little bit about the Latin, but I want to just share how you can start very early, start early introducing. Yes, it's different people, and it's okay. Look at the colors, look at the diversity. This is one of my favorite authors right now. It's a children's book. It's called Yuyi Morales, and this is her last book. She just getting another one, but you can tell by my blouse that I colorful, and she does this kind of illustration, which I like it. I totally recommend them. Soñadores or Dreamer with this. Here's a story when she migrated to America, or North America, I should say, with his little boy. So Yuyi Morales is one of those. So that's for kids, very sweet and easy to read. And this is 2 Rabbits. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
This is the story of the father who emigrated from Guatemala on top of the train. Yeah. So if you don't know what am I talking about, you start reading this. There are families from Central America who spent months trying to come to America because diverse things that happen over there. And this is a very sweet story of how the father he's traveling with his daughter along his little on top of the train, a ferry train, and just what she see during the travesty. She's counting everything she see, the time the father has to work. Not many words, just telling the what she's, but it's just beautiful. So that's limited, but that's one of my favorite books. But you can introduce another one. This is what I put to my kids, whatever I can find. And this is another topic that we don't have enough books to. So this is the Native American. And
yeah, I think only 1% of publications for children are from Native American authors.
So yes. So we need to demand more books. So this is about different people. This is in Spanish. This is they're beautiful, and this a time to start talking with the kids and introducing. I also bring animals migration, because migration is beautiful. If you want to start talking about diversity and how the people move and how do we move, because we move. So that's the stuff that I do, that I did, and I do with the families, because I do a story time. And if I don't have enough books in Spanish that I want to send a message, because my point is to send a message, at least in one of my, every time that I do a story time. So if I don't have enough in Spanish, I have to utilize my resources. This is another one in Spanish, which you got the list. I'm going to send you a list. And there are many more. There are many more. Sweet. And this is beautiful too. It's called a neighborhood of different people, and just get in the community and do something for the community. Oh, this is one of my favorite stories. I will send a list to Sephora for my book. So I think I already did. So if anyone is interested in these books and want to share with the kiddos, and this is in English and Spanish, this one. This is from the African continent. I cannot remember the country. Ethiopia. It's Ethiopia. It's such a sweet story of a boy who born with one leg and how he success, and it's true. So I like that some books are not tragic. Even the events for me is that, oh, how do they do that? But they make it not try like this. This is a real story too. The 2 kids sharing 2 sandals. They got only 1 sandal for each one. And so this is part of, you start with kids, exposing the kids to diversity and to different worlds and to different people, different faces, different situations. It's really sweet story to start talking. And again, I don't have anything about animals migration, but all animals migrate. So it's something that we can start with there. And if we ask for more books, if you as a public request more books, publishers will be more interested in get Latinx or any another minority, publishing their books that they're writing.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, what we can do to, put pressure on publishers to have more representation and bring in more authors. So obviously, like writing,
marketing, we want diverse books, like just a word that is cheesy, but it's, we want something else. We want more, just where you can offer me, but we kind of demanding something else.
Yes. I've had some of my students, so I have students who are in college, and they've been asking me about own voices books, where books, the movement for books to be written by the people like who are actually the characters. Like if I'm writing about a Latinx character, that I'm actually from that culture. Because in the past and still today, there are white authors writing about, sometimes writing about characters in ways that don't really represent their culture. And it looks like a lot of the books that all of the books that you were talking about are own voices books. They're written by people.
Yes, now they are. I want to, this is like a 7 years ago, 10 years ago. I love it. Their own voices is just great. How there's no way to feel sad. It's kind of sad situation about this, walking along the water. But the results, and for kids, I think it's like 2nd or 3rd grade, something is the language of the simplicity. But I love this too. That in voices, something that I keep, and we have now books like that. And you asked me for books about this is kind of a team book.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good though. I mean,
there's a first book. Some of the librarians are they're writing, some of my coworkers want perfection and say, well, but this is the first book, and let's start with something, and let's start topics that sometimes in the Latinx, or at least in my house, didn't talk about, health, mental health, right? Different things that this book has on it. But what I want to comment of this book, that I couldn't remember exactly the title of the book, and I look into Google it, a book with a girl with a braid on the back. It's like 5 books the same. Another part of the publishers, they want the same cover. They want to represent us Latinx with a cactus, a braid, a cactus, a desert, something really that is happening too. That is. And it's I went to a presentation with Reina Grande, and she got a book, something like that too. And this the conditions the publishers give it to them too. This is the cover that you're gonna have. You want it or not?
Oh my gosh!
So there's something that I said really, because there was somebody saying, why all the Mexican or the Latinx books they have to have a braid or a cactus or a sarape or the desert.
Yep.
That's the reason. And I take it. That was her answer. You want it or not? So they take the publishing, but that's many times doesn't give it the honor. And we are diverse too.
Right. This book by Jennifer Torres that I read and my daughter read. So this is an example of this has no cactuses. And it's called The Breakfast of Griselda. And it's about her and her sister. Their dad loses his job and he has to go to California, and they're real worried. And so they start this makeup. They start selling this makeup brand, but they're entrepreneurs, and it's like a big sister and a little sister who work together. And it's about friendship, and it has makeup in it, which my kid loves. And I thought this was a cool, not a desert story, not an immigration story, featuring Latinx folks.
Yeah, beautiful. I haven't read that one. Didn't come out into my list, but I'm so glad that you shared, because yes, I don't wear sandals. Well, I wear sandals too, but I can do the braids, but I wear tennis shoes too, and I do it a different kind of life. They still represented. A part of my job too is select, and I see some books that write by the in English for an American, North American person or something, and they still represented the pictures running on the street with sandals and those short pants, something. And we have once in a year get together to select some books that we're gonna don't put it out there to the public, and that happened in another from Asian American or another countries. The representation, you open the book because we look into the book, looked into the story, and look into the illustration, and some of it, they're very offensive. They're very, and we have to take it away from the catalog. But publisher publish those books,
right?
They take those books for people who does no idea how we live. But this is I love this book, and I totally recommend this. A poetry for maybe 3 or 4 years. I put it into the list that I send you. But if it's something you want to do, and it's called They Call Me Güero, and there's a Latinx, but he's a red hair and white, his skin is white and freckles, but it's poetry. It's one of my favorites too. So recommend that one. And what else do you want to tell?
I just want to share a couple books. Maybe there's one. Well, first of all, The First Rule of Punk. I don't have it with me, but by Celia Perez. First Rule of Punk.
It sounds like it. I don't know if it's a new book, because we have a lot of new books that they're on transit since we closed the library. We don't know.
This is her new book called Strange Birds. And it's about a group of 4 young girls, all with different identities, who work together to have social justice movement. And I just love it. It's about it is about birds, but it's about coming together as a group to make change. I think it's so great. This is another one that tries to not be about stereotypes, but about friendship, and really focusing on growing up as a young girl and having power in your voice. So I think this one is really cool.
It does. Look at the cover. I like it, and I see the name. So just I'm glad that you find this, and when you ask publisher, or some people find books that doesn't, different.
And I have to, even though this one is this is right, but I just have to mention this book. This book is so beautiful and sad. We Are Not From Here. I'm just going to talk about it all the time because I think everyone should read it with Kleenex, because you will cry your face off. Because it is very emotional, very touching, really powerful. It's also about a story of being on La Bestia, coming from Guatemala to the United States. And it talks even about the situation at the border right now, which, I mean, for me, reading with my kiddos, we read, stories about Latinx kids doing fun stuff, like magic stuff and adventures. And we also read about what's happening so that they can be more active, to try to change things too, as we get older, knowing that there are things that are not okay about how people are treated and that we need to stand up. But this book is definitely for high school, older high school. This is pretty intense book. It's
very, very intense. Thank you for sharing that. And this is the program that you do, and reading is resistance. It's as much as we know, we know more, then we can help more and understand more. And thank you for sharing with your kids. And they can maybe adapt, if you read into them, but it just kind of going in a conversation. And yes, these people, this is happening in this world. This where, this. It's an easy way. Or you can find a way to tell about the discrepancies and the horror there in the world, but in another way as a mother and as a caring person, and to promote, let's do something about it. Let's change. So this is a beautiful book that nobody checked out. This is in Spanish, and it's called Migra or Migrar. I'm going to save this for you. It's in Spanish. I know you know some Spanish stuff, or I try to practice. But this book came 10 years ago, and it tells the story about, it's a beautiful art, but it's about coming with the bestia, with the mom. Coming as it telling you, and with the color over here is telling you the whole story, because kids sometimes spend 3 or 4 months. And I tell you kids, because 6 years ago, I haven't heard from now, we have that kind of community here around us in St. John's. There were kids 14, 15-year-old to come to the library to get information, because that's the library does. And I'm a person that I can catch right away. You know, the skin of the word, they were just coming by themselves, 14 and a 10-year-old on La Bestia. And you can tell by the skin, you know, burn, the little hands that you just got here. And you know, I tried to get some more information to see what can I do. But yeah, kids are traveling by themselves, trying to get away of the horrors of crime or hungry or just that. So this one, I will save it to you with another book that I told you so you can read. So this is in the beginning, but it tells you the story. This is very peculiar book that I love. I love it as an art. And when you get detailed, you can see the people who's coming in La Bestia.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is a first person, a third person, what to say, the kid telling you, you know, I was playing with chickens and pigs and all animals and my little ranch, you know, starting telling you what families say we have to go, and I tell you all the story right there. And of course this one too. So I know that you kids are a little bit older, but this one is very sweet.
I think that picture books can be for any age, right? I mean, you can learn so much from a picture book on a topic that might be complex or new, that will allow you to just ask some questions and notice things in a picture book.
So this one, and I like the art too, and I like the way. I will save it to you. You haven't read it?
No, I have that one.
You have this one?
Yeah,
okay,
I love that.
This is my favorite. Yeah, really, 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 and tell you. Oh, you can see the Guatemala dolls. Okay, but I will sell in air for you too.
Oh, I would love it for, as we wrap up, for you to share, because obviously, like, the libraries are not open as they usually are, but are still doing services. So there's sort of a pickup service, and also we're still doing the
summer reading.
Do you want to talk about those?
Yes. Well, you say it. The library, we are open. We cannot be in full because we're supposed to we are obligated to keep the distance at 10%. Right now, we are 4 people working inside the library. We normally were 15. And so right now we are 4. I'm here. Somebody else far away from me. The another one is sitting in the meeting room. And the another person, like you say right away, I mean, is an outside where people reserve books. You can reserve it by calling in the telephone if you don't have access to the computer. And a lot of Latinx or underserved people, low-income people don't have access to the computer. So I'm still doing some outreach. I go every Monday to Seaton Food Pantry and pass my card. I will give some information to the people who come to pick food. So you can call and reserve some books, or the library really expand the selection or the collection of ebooks and audiobooks or books online that you can request. And again, that's a big barrier for people who don't have a computer, don't even know how to use a computer. And we are still on those terms here in America, here in St. John's. So people used to come and use the computer every day, and I know they're suffering to apply for, resume, employed, health service, looking for job, all those kind of service that we help them here inside the library. We are not, unfortunately. We still connected because I have some connections. We work with a partner. So people is looking for, build a resume and look for job. Please give us a call, and then we share the information. There's a person from IRCO who is bilingual, is helping with that. I just got a call with her. We just talked on Monday, and she's still doing. She's doing a full-time job, working in a telephone and helping people to do apply for the unemployment special that is happening right now. I'm not very savvy about that right now, but she's helping with those kind of jobs. So we still, if we can do stuff, we still a bridge to connect people by the phone or online. You can send us, talk to the librarian, ask the librarian. We still do a reader's advisor. Just send a chat to the website to ask a librarian. and or call us. It's one telephone now, one just number. Make it easy. Contact center, and let me give you what is the phone? Sorry,
No, it's fine. No, I mean the library is has always been the hub of everything in our community. I mean, I think it just is everywhere. I was taught that from a young age, and there's just so many services. So always support the library whenever you see an opportunity.
Thank you for that, because yes. And so yeah, just that 503-988. What is the four last numbers? Give me a second.
5123.
What?
988-5123.
Okay, 988-5123. That's main telephone number. Mm-hmm. So contact center, they put a lot of people to work in there, answer telephones. And there's bilingual. It takes a little while too, but just hold in there. If you cannot access computer, if you can just send a chat or text, it will be faster or easier. You're going to be hanging in a telephone. But yes, we do reserving books for people. Make appointment. The library tell you just to call and make the appointment, and then you come to the library, and we have your bundle of books right there. And like there's no more fines.
Yes, that's amazing.
No more fines. And if nobody's waiting for the book that you had at home, you don't have to rush and return it. The library just automatic renew the book for you until somebody wants that book. Then you can know it. But I think I believe, because I'm a user too, it's been very good and communicate, through emails, things that happen in the library. You book this, we automatically renew all the books for those people who, or like me, like everybody else, had book at home and couldn't renew it. They're up to August. But you know that you can return the books now. It's okay. Yeah. And when you return the book, we put the books in the crates for 3 days. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we check the books in and put it in transit or going to fill up a new hold. And yeah, we still keeping on that. And a lot of virtual programs are happening. And now there's really more sure that this pandemic is going to take longer, because we were working. We'll see the reopening. We'll see what the government say. But now, yeah, it's for real. That's the new. So we are focusing do a lot more visual program. People, librarians, are working now, teaming to what kind of programs can do, like I guess the school was doing it. I have to do some story times, and we're going to start, focusing more. Okay, this is going to take a long time too, so let's start doing something that people is going to need virtual. So check online and see what happens. Summer reading, we cannot cut it because it's over 3 years. And it's fine. So this is for this year. Imagine your story. It was about folklore, and you can do it online or come into the library and request your game board. We have the game boards here. And if we've been passing it around, if you want like a 10, because you want to do it by hand, you can request that, Safura. I've been taken to the church or the places that they don't receive it because they're not in the school, the food pantry, because people having fun. Kids always,
So fun.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. The oldest ones that I'm doing online, or some parents say I'm doing it online, but kids always like to do the
see it.
Yeah, now they can just send the poster. If you don't want to spend, you don't have to spend the 39 cents for the post. Just drop it in the library with the book. And the coupon's going to be this year, so they will send it to your house. Just make sure that you got the information correct so you can send it. And yes, we're going to have the shirt. We don't have the shirt yet. It is behind. But the shirt is going to happen. Because normally the shirt, we have it like in April.
Yeah.
With the wearing the shirt. When we do the parade,
Mm-hmm.
goes to the parade, we already got a shirt. But this year,
yeah,
it's different.
It's different.
But we're going to get over it, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
community. So if you want your game board, just come when you pick up or say, I just want some 5 game boards for my friends and that.
Yeah.
Take it and have fun with the coloring, with a look at it.
That's great. I'm going to pick up some and just give them to some neighbors for sure.
Yes, please. Yeah. And you're doing the book club, or just encourage them to have fun with this and coloring time and visual things.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us. It's just such a joy to see you because we don't get to go to the library anymore. So this feels really special, and just getting all the insight about books that we can share with our kiddos and programs. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you much for you too, what you're doing too, and it's such a great job. And anything I'm here from you. And what I want to say. Oh, I lost my thought. Well, I'm here for everybody. So give me. Oh, you have the list. If you,
I'll share the list out.
More, and as soon as we got more books, some more idea. But this is one of my favorites. Something that I read, and something that is, migrants and social justice. So right there, or struggles with. Go to college. I think I send you a resume.
Yeah, I'll make a blog post today and send it out to everybody with all the information. So
yes, So Voces Sin Fronteras. That's or stories are true, like the our voice that you were talking. Just checking it, and I hope we have more diverse books.
Yes, we will all ask for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Before we sign off, I want to remind everyone we have 1 spot left in our brioche hat class that's being offered through Weird Sisters. It's a great 2-color rib stitch that's super fun. Other than that, I think we kind of have, Jazz Festival next weekend. It's a Cathedral Park Jazz Festival sponsored by and organized by the Jazz Society of Oregon, is going online this year. Check them out, support them as you can. If you join the Two Rivers and Weird Sisters Patreon, we are donating the first $5 of every subscription this month to the Jazz Festival to support going online.
Nice.
I think that's covers what we are doing at the shop. Thank you, Zipporah. Thank you, Leonora.
Thank you, guys. And see you around.
See you next week. Bye.
Nos vemos. Bye-bye.